I don't even know why y'all are the ones even throwing the party.
It's not every year that your husband makes it to the championships games, girl.
I see you watching me with those eyes. But how do we know when to draw the line?
What did I tell you about getting out of pocket?
How bad is the damage this time? This is too much.
Get out!
I'm taking my boys
No! I said no!
and moving. If we don't leave, then I'm afraid that I won't live to see my boys grow up.
I'm gonna tell you!
Now is my time.
I pray that you protect my boys and that you give them strength to get through this. Grant me peace and happiness in my life.
You can follow me. Our programs are designed to help rebuild your life and confidence as well. You're safe here.
Teddy Maxwell is fine.
I'd do anything for the opportunity to style him.
Tiff, if you ever go before him, please don't go looking like a plain Jane. Ow.
Teddy, you can't keep having these one-night stands with these random women and expect to keep a clean image. What you need is a long-term woman by your side. You're Mrs. Claus.
No, 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 no! They're doubling the rent come January. I'm gonna be selling clothes out of my car. I really need a Christmas miracle. Boutique de ma mère.
Hello, this is Teddy Maxwell's manager.
We'd love for you to be his stylist. You want me to style the Teddy Maxwell?
Yes.
You don't think it's weird that they chose me? Excuse me. Out of all of the stylists out there?
This is where I cut the line. She's playing.
She's exactly what you need. She's the one that's gonna help your image.
You going like that?
Look who's coming in hot. Tiffany's going viral.
Oh.
Their outfits are so last season. She looks like a broke auntie. Excuse me?
I don't understand how people can be so cruel. She's literally the sweetest woman I know. It's the first time I felt like somebody's looked past my celebrity and seen me for me.
Your album sales are increasing. Project Change Teddy's Playboy image is working.
Cole, I told you this was over.
Teddy and his momager needed to clean up his Playboy persona. They played you, boo.
You need to fix this.
I styled and stupidly fell for a certain R&B singer. I'm Tiffany Ford, a designer deserving of respect and love.
I can't wait to catch his ass.
Come on!
Hello, hello. Let me know if I should start. Hello, everyone. Hoping all is well. I'm so excited about these opportunities to be able to share information about the film and television industry. If you don't know who I am, I'm Tressa Azarel Smallwood. If this is your very first time joining us for these master classes, I hope that you go back and watch previous classes, and I hope you enjoy. I do these because I love them. I love the opportunity to share my story. I love to share my experiences, and I love to share all those things that I've learned about the business. So listen, let's dive in. Of course, you already noticed the topic, right? And I'm sure you were like, whoa. So the topic is all about navigating industry standards. And so to put that in layman's terms, it is the do's and don'ts of the industry. It is, how do you behave when you're in the industry? Are you doing the right thing? Are you doing the wrong thing? Are you able to read the room? Is your character what it's supposed to be? A lot of times people don't get opportunities simply because they aren't operating correctly. And so I want to be able to share tonight just a lot of the things that people don't understand. I'm going to focus on a lot of the topics that will relate to producers. I'm going to focus on topics that are going to be great for writers, great for actors, and just how do you totally navigate the industry? What are the do's? What are the don'ts? And so I want to just jump right in, right? I want to jump in thinking about producers, right? Do's and don'ts for producers. And I'm going to start with, as you are out networking, as you are meeting people, you are sharing information. And the reason why I want to start there is because that's obviously where I spend most of my time operating as a producer, although I am a screenwriter as well. A lot of times I'm seeing people reach out to me and they're operating inappropriately. They're using DMs, for example, to send resumes, to send headshots. You're basically pitching me through the DM. So I want to start right there because that is a don't. That is not what we do in the industry. When you as a producer are looking to pitch people, you want to make sure you're pitching the right person. You want to make sure you're pitching them the right way. No unsolicited pitches. Okay. There's a way to introduce yourself and not be offensive or not, don't do anything that will make you count yourself out before you even get started. And so that's why we like to have these chats. Oh, you know what? I wanted to tell you all this because I forgot to say it in the beginning. Tonight's session is not live, so there won't be a Q&A. A lot of times my team will still see, responses from you all and they'll chime in later. But tonight, we're not able to do live as planned because guess what? We at Megamind have a few projects releasing. And so between the premieres, the press days, we weren't able to do it. Okay. But we do have a few movies that will be coming out that the team will put on the screen for you all to see at some point. Style Me for Christmas, Married to a Baller. Those are movies that are coming out over the next 2 weeks. They'll put the dates up there, but we want you to tune in. Style Me for Christmas is airing on BET Plus, and Married to a Baller will be a Tubi original. So we want you to tune into those. But that's the only reason why we aren't able to do this session live. Okay, so wanted to give you that info. I'm going to jump right back in. So we're on producers, do's and don'ts for a minute. So if you think about, as a producer, appropriate protocol, etiquette when pitching your projects. If you are looking to work with a producer, a production company, a network, if you do not know these people, if you've never met them before, you should not interact with them for the first time on social media, sending decks, log lines, synopsis. It is not the way to do things. You really should not do that. And so for all those people who've done it to me, at least now you know, and it's given sharing the information out of love that it's not the appropriate thing to do. Okay. And we're going to come back. I do pitch sessions all the time in my mentorship program about how do you actually pitch someone. It's a totally separate topic, but tonight we're really just talking about industry standards, what you should do and what you should not do. Okay. Also, we're thinking about in a networking space. If you are meeting someone who is a notable person, let's say if I was at a networking event and I saw Oprah, there's no way I'm going to run up to Oprah and ask her for her phone number. That's not what we do, right? And so when you are at networking events, you have to read the room. You have to come up with creative ways to be able to give your elevator speech and to walk away with an appropriate contact. So if I were in a room and I met Oprah and I wanted to get a meeting with her, I would simply ask her, I would tell her something very brief, 30 seconds about myself, and say, I would love to get a meeting with you. Is there an assistant's phone number, email address, a coordinator that I can reach out to see about getting a meeting with you? If she wanted to give me a specific phone number, she would give it to me. She would not give me her personal phone number. People just don't do that. And so I've been in many rooms and people will ask me for my phone number and really have the phone out. And I'm thinking, oh, wow, I have to share this information with my people, with my fellow producers, with my fellow production company owners, with my fellow screenwriters, just so you know, knowledge is power. So as we continue, I want to move to screenwriters for just a second and talk about some of the do's and don'ts as it relates to screenwriters. So what about understanding the role, first of all, as a screenwriter in terms of when you're out there in the workforce, when you're meeting people? Let's say as a screenwriter, you meet an executive, you meet an owner of a production company, you meet a producer that you want to work with. Are you going to run to them and ask them for their information and tell them that you have this screenplay that you want to send them? That's not how that works, right? Because people don't want to take unsolicited writing materials. There are way too many situations out there now where people are suing people. People are coming back saying, oh my goodness, that project sounds a lot like mine, and I sent it to this producer or I sent it to this production company. So you have to really be careful. Just as an industry, you have to be careful about how you do it. And you want to give your project to someone who actually is requesting it, somebody who really wants to see it, right? The other thing is you have to think about, when you are getting ready to pitch your work, you have to think about, what is your elevator pitch? Are you prepared to share your log line? Are you prepared to share a brief synopsis? Sometimes people will say, well, what's it all about? What's your project about? I know I've done that to filmmakers often. If I'm in a room, let's say I'm at a film festival or some type of intimate setting, and someone introduces themselves, I'm intrigued. I start talking to them. Well, tell me what your project is about. If you don't know what your project is about, how can you succeed? So one of the do's for a screenwriter is know your work. Know your work, know your story, know your project in a way where you are prepared to articulate it if somebody says, what is it about? Let me give you a do that is in that same vein. If somebody asks you, what is it about? If you find yourself talking for 3-4 minutes, you've said too much, because now that's too long. So figure out your 30-second elevator pitch to be able to share with someone what your story is about. If you see they're intrigued and they look like they want more, you can give them more. But you have to be able to read the room. You have to be able to gauge what to share, what not to share, how much to share, and how much not to share. I know this might sound like, oh my goodness, that's a hard job. Practice. Practice makes perfect. Literally get your phone, talk to your phone, practice. I'm telling you right now, it is such an easy thing to do just to prepare yourself. You are able to get all the butterflies out of your stomach and be able to make this work. Okay. All right. So want to go on to the next thing. I want to talk about the process of getting through the gatekeepers, right? There are gatekeepers at every network, at every production company, with every producer. Okay. Sometimes these gatekeepers are the decision makers, and sometimes these gatekeepers are not the decision makers. Maybe they can't even make the decisions for you. However, they can be the people who will stop you. If you end up meeting one of these gatekeepers, it is okay to say to them, tell me how I can get my script through. What is the procedure where you work? What is the procedure for the producer that you work with? Do they will they read my project? Do I need to send over only a log line and synopsis and wait to hear back? Do they expect a treatment in advance? I will tell you, most people want to see a treatment. For those of you all out there who have no idea what a treatment is, that means you need to hang out with me some Saturdays when I'm talking, either teaching during my mentorship program that I host on Saturdays or during the free sessions that I do sometimes during the week. Reach out to us if you don't know about the mentorship program so that we can share the information. But we always teach about treatments because they are vital to your success as a screenwriter. To my authors, speaking to you all for just a second, if you believe the myth that you can just hand your book off to someone, an executive, and they're going to want to greenlight your project, that's not how it works, right? How it works is a book needs to be adapted into a Bible, right? And in this Bible, this is the document that is going to spell out what your story is about. You'll still have a log line, you'll have your synopsis, you'll have your episodic breakdowns, you'll have your character arcs. But you have to know what goes into a Bible in order to deliver one to a network executive, as opposed to delivering your book if it's a series, and a deck if it's not a series, if it's a one-off movie. But those are the things that you have to know as it relates to industry standards in terms of what you should be doing, what you should not do, and when you should deliver certain materials to producers, production companies, network executives, etc. Okay. The other thing that I think we should talk about is industry standards as it relates to representation, right? A lot of times people are trying to figure out how do they get representation, right? Whether that's a manager, whether that's an agent, you have to spend some time navigating the industry's processes as it relates to, do you have what it takes to be able to get an agent or a manager at the current time? Sometimes they're looking for your resume to, for you to have more things on your resume. Sometimes it is that one hit that let's say you don't have a lot on your resume and you get into this one project and the project is a huge success. Well, at that point, you might be able to secure an agent or a manager. Do you understand at this point in the game what the percentages are, what the commitments are? I'll tell you one of the don'ts. As a producer, a lot of times actors will come to me directly and book them, try to get themselves booked, and they're basically undercutting their agents and their managers, and I don't even know that they have one. And then later I find out that they have an agent or a manager. Well, that should not happen. So again, if you're an actor, you want to find out what are the do's and don'ts in the industry and make sure that you are constantly researching, constantly spending some time, attending film festivals, attending classes, listening to sessions like this so that you can get the information. Okay. First of all, can you just clap for yourself for a moment? Just spend a minute and clap for yourself, because a lot of times people don't want to spend the time learning. They really just want to go out and just get it the easy way. They're like, take me straight to the top, take me to the red carpet, take me to the deal where I can soar. And they don't want to spend the time listening, learning, and making sure that you learn the right protocols and professional etiquettes in the industry. Okay. All right. So it brings me to a point. I want to talk about being professional at all times and no matter what your role is in the industry, right? Some people who are on tonight, you're on because you're an actor, you're on because you are a screenwriter, you are on because you're a producer, a director, maybe you own a production company, maybe you don't know what you're going to do yet and you just want to get into the industry. Being professional at all stages, it's just really, really important. And so people will judge you based on some of the things that you do. I can give you some examples. If you send a cold call email, to somebody and they've never heard of you before, and it's a really long, lengthy email and a bunch of attachments, that's not being professional, because people could open an attachment, computer could mess up. They don't know who you are. They don't want to spend, 10 minutes reading an email, but you're sending a signal from that very first moment. You're sending a signal, and that reputation will stay with you. So you have to think about how you're doing things and being professional at all times. I'll tell you another thing that that people will do. They will get upset if they are not selected. Let's say we're having a casting call at Megamind Media and the person was not selected. We will get emails. We will get DMs. Y'all didn't choose me. Why? I was better than the other person. This stuff really happens. And so we're still not understanding why people are not choosing to be professional. So etiquette in the industry is a standard, and you gotta do what's right, or people will remember you. The other thing is being on time, right? We know that's a standard for a lot of industries, not just film and television, but if you're late to set, you throw off the whole production. Whether you're working on set as an actor, as a crew member, anybody that has a call time, if you're late, you're throwing everybody else off. Let's talk about deadlines in terms of like screenwriting. If you are a screenwriter and let's say you've gotten a deal with a network executive or a production company, when they give you a deadline, you need to be able to send that project back. Let's say, for example, if they're giving you notes on your treatment and they say that they need the notes back on the second Tuesday of the month, and you decide on that Monday night that you don't think you're going to be able to meet the deadline. That's not good. You're sending a sign. You're sending a sign. Deadlines are important. Do what you got to do to make it work. And believe me, I know that it can be a struggle as a screenwriter, because many, many nights I would have deadlines for networks and I would stay up all night and get it done, because I'm like, I am not going to be the person where they say, I can't count on her. She's not reliable. Okay. Very, very important for you to do that. Okay. Let's talk about some of the other industry standards in terms of screenwriting, in terms of copywriting, and making sure you know where the right ownership lies. So anytime just screenwriters for just a second, if you create a project, you should, one, make sure your script formatting is correct. And then two, you need to make sure you understand the copyright process. So I'm going to start at the top with the screenwriting, the script writing format, right? If you are writing your screenplay in a Word doc, I need you to get the appropriate screenwriting software. Okay. Final draft is the industry standard, but I have seen people write in Celtics in the beginning stages, and then eventually they will get final draft. As far as being able to insert screenplays into Movie Magic, which is the premier screen budgeting system and scheduling systems, you need a final draft screenplay to be able to upload that. Okay. And so I tell you right now, if you are serious about screenwriting, you really do need to get that software, Final Draft. Okay. If you're a student, they have student discounts. Get online and figure out how you can get it if you're really serious, because you cannot write it in Word. And if you get any type of free software, just make sure that you're downloading any work that you've created before your free version expires. Okay. But don't let that deter you. All right. Get it done. Now back to formatting. With the standard screenplay formatting, you've got to make sure that Final Draft is really good about this, making sure your scene headings are appropriate. Like literally as soon as you turn it on and you start to type in it, it's going to give you that Courier 12-point font. Your margins are already going to be prepared for you. Your scene headings should be appropriate. Your interior, exterior, all of those things, your parentheticals, your transitions. Tonight is obviously not a screenwriting course, but I want you to just make sure that if you are going to, partake in this industry and your goal is to become a screenwriter, learn the appropriate formatting. Okay. Obviously you won't learn it overnight, but spend some time being able to learn what it takes. Okay. All right. So again, I want to move on. You know what? I want to talk to the folks about expectations, right? If you submit your screenplay, the industry standard is, let's say you've submitted it to a network executive, you're not going to get an answer back in 4 or 5 days, right? Every company has a different milestone as to when they can get it back to you. So what do you do, right? This goes back to character. What do you do if you have not gotten an answer in an appropriate time for you? How do you handle that? Are you sending a note, just was checking in just to see, if there was any leeway, or are you saying to them, hey, I sent this to you 4 weeks ago and I've not heard anything? How you handle those situations in the industry will eventually tell you how far you will go. Because again, people do not want to deal with folks that are problematic. They don't want to deal with people who they don't like, right? People want to do business with people that they like. And so how you carry yourself in the industry it really does matter, okay? I hope I'm giving y'all some good stuff and that you're taking really, really good notes tonight, because etiquette, how you operate, it's going to say a lot for you, okay? All right, so I want to stop for just a second and just ask you all to think about your plan in the industry. What is your next steps to making sure you're networking, that you're learning, you're growing? Are you getting ready to attend any functions, any summits, any film festivals? Where are you going to learn your information? Well, of course, you're going to send everybody here to this masterclass, right? With Tressa Azarel. But aside from that, how are you going to learn? What books are you going to read, right? What is it something that you're going to watch on YouTube, a class from a reputable person, right? That's the other industry standard, that every reputable person in the industry of film and television is going to have an IMDb, right? International Movie Database. Okay. Everybody will have one, and it will tell you exactly what their credits are, what they've done on specific projects. If you end up getting IMDb Pro, you're going to be able to take a further look, a deeper dive, right? Which will give you even more information. However, everybody's going to have one. So if somebody tells you that they've done something in the industry, you need to research it. You gotta research it, because it may not be true. So spend your time researching it. Okay. These industry standards, I'm telling you, are really, really important, because there are a lot of misconceptions out here, which is the last thing that I want to share with you all before we end the night, about what all the misconceptions are, because these kinds of things affect people's credibility. It will affect your credibility if we don't take the time to learn them. All right, so let's talk about some of the misconceptions. I want to give you all the first one that really was a misconception for me personally when I came into the business. By now, most of you all have seen my very first movie called Secrets, that was released in 2017 on BET. If you have not seen it, shameless plug, there's the link there. You need to go and watch it. Secrets, you can watch it on Tubi. You can watch it. You can watch it a lot of different places, but we want you to go watch it. Anyway, a misconception for me was that we were going to film this movie and we were going to license it to a network for $2-3 million. Right? I didn't spend the time looking at the marketability of certain projects. I didn't have a real financial number about what I should receive from a project that had the cast that I had, right? So I didn't have Denzel. My cast was major. I mean, they were so good. First of all, I know if you all have watched the movie, you know what I'm saying when I'm sharing that this was a really, really good movie, right? But I didn't have A-list actors. My actors are good, but they're not A-list actors. And so I didn't get A-list money. But I didn't do the right research, right? That was my fault. I should have researched, okay, how much is Netflix paying right now for a movie like this? How much is Hulu paying for a movie like this? How much would VH1 give me for a movie like this? I didn't do it. I just automatically assumed because I was shooting a movie and I just thought, you hear these words, assumed, thought, that I was going to make a lot more money. So I was disappointed when I got my offer because I was like, what is this? Are you serious? Are they lowballing me? But it wasn't that they were lowballing me. That was the going rate at the time for the movie that I had, the type of movie that I had. Fast forward, as I started learning the industry more, I realized, okay, that was just a misconception. That was me thinking that was supposed to happen like that. Okay. Another common misconception is that you can just come up with an idea and just shoot a movie really fast without putting in the appropriate amount of time for pre-production. You have to spend the time putting in the work. If you shoot anything really fast and you don't prepare, then you're probably going to fail. You're probably going to fail because you have to spend the right amount of time doing the right amount of research, spending time with your director, your DP, your AD, scheduling. You have to make sure you're spending time with your team to have a movie that really comes out looking amazing. Okay. Another misconception is that your project will automatically get sold if you go out and shoot it on your own. There may be moments where nobody is going to take your project. That happens. And so you have to do your due diligence to have the right screenplay, the right director, the right DP, the right team, the right producer. I know y'all are like, oh my goodness, what is she saying? Yes, yes, yes. Industry standard, y'all. I could go on and on and on, but I'm going to stop here. I'd like to give you all pieces of information during every masterclass that we have, so that you can build on it. Go back, listen to my other masterclasses. Go back and listen to them all because they will help you. Like I am putting you up on free game right now, and all you have to do is listen and be able to take the information and grow and learn. And maybe one day we will be producing projects together. I love it. I love it. Spend some time going to check out our social media pages so that you can see all of the great things that we have going on. Check out some of our movies that have come out recently. Also, lastly, visit our website. It's something there for everyone. We're looking forward to working with you all. Actors, producers, writers, crew members. I'm excited, and I'm so glad that you decided to join me. Talk soon.
There's a growing supernatural threat that we must rise to meet.
Are we sure we're all ready for this?
It's a virus called fear fever.
This could unravel everything. I want you five to work together.
Find the threat and eliminate it.
And I think spreading it looks like little girls.
I like you.
There's a new council rising.
I will tear down the council by any means necessary.
Whatever she's looking for, it's definitely here.
We have to stop this creature.
Let's do this.
This bread that we hold in our hands represents the body of Christ that was beaten, broken, and bruised for all of our transgressions. Shall we eat together?
Pastor, now that you're here, is there anything you need?
Sinners. I'll need sinners. This building's for everyone.
Even a call girl.
Even the call girl. What the hell is going on in here? And it reads, "For I am the least of the apostles, who am not worthy to be called an apostle, because I've persecuted the church of God."
Is this the church she was at?
We can't have anybody terrorizing our church name.
What is going on in here? Did y'all have sex in there?
It's no heaven for me.
He married a prostitute. And he has brought shame to this church.
Let me get you some help.
You don't think this is something you should have informed us about?
Yes, well, I thought it'd be best if I kept my wife's business private.
Private?
What were the charges brought up against me?
Possession of a controlled dangerous substance and prostitution.
How can you love a person so filthy?
This church should be about forgiveness. And all we do is pass judgment.
This is you, my wife! How you gonna do this to me?
But what if I do it again?
Well, if you do it again, then I'll still be here.